Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and this is Guitar Solo Reactions, and today we're back with the incredible PHISH. This is the song Theme from the Bottom from 2/16/1977. This is brought to you by Curtis, who has bought many coffees for me, and we have two coming your way from 97. He's digging in really deep for me and kind of finding the gems, I guess, and hopefully everyone thinks that as well. I'm super excited. I have Trey's rig.com up to always check out what he's playing or what to remind myself what he's playing at the time, and always fun for me to see what he's playing, as I've said. So anyway, here we go. Theme from the Bottom.
From the bottom, you feed from the top. I live upon morsels you happen to drop, and coffee that somehow leaks out of your cup. If nothing comes down, then I'm forced to swim up.
So this is really unique because what Paige is doing on the piano, kind of close intervallic kind of things, like a repetitive ostinato thing. And then Trey and Mike are doing kind of a riffy thing, but picking notes kind of that are more chromatic and kind of a lot more dissonant. And then just kind of doing all that. And then the vocal on top is kind of, not... I don't want to say out of key, but it's just kind of floating on top and not necessarily reflecting the harmony. So really cool stuff.
On the way upwards, the colors come back, but all on the bottom is blue, gray, and black. The darkness is cold and perception goes wrong, and the night seems to go on incredibly long. So I ask you why, if I'm swimming by, don't you see anything that you'd like to try? Pantomime mixtures of heaven and earth, jumbled events that have less than no worth. Time in the forest to dig under rocks, afloat in the ocean, asleep in a box.
That piano part is so cool. It's just like kind of like polychordal or something, and just really neat, simple, but really effective. And then that underneath what Trey's singing, and like I said before, I don't know what Mike's doing intervallically. Maybe it doesn't sound chromatic. It sounds more like just an interesting interval, like a second or something that he's harmonizing with Trey's part or mixing it up. I don't know. So cool.
Sink just below all the churning and froth, or swim to the light source, or fly like a moth. So toss away stuff you don't need in the end, but keep what's important and know who's your friend. So I ask you why, bottom, from the top, from the 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 bottom.
What an incredible solo by Trey. I think that kind of surmises to me some of his best playing. This early stuff, I know a lot of people like the early stuff. I like later things. Anyway, tone-wise, this is a pretty decent recording, a great performance. I love the composition. It's cool to see Mike using his Languedoc bass. I don't know how long he used that for, but it's pretty rare that I see it in videos that I've done. So that's kind of a cool treat. And I am going to look at treysrig.com because it seems like it's kind of an interesting period that I don't remember ever really looking at this kind of time frame, this 1997 time frame. So he's got like a custom audio electronics switching system, and I guess that kind of that was around for a long time. It said till 2017 roughly, so interesting. So that may or may not be true, I'm not sure. But and for amplification, he's using like a Groove Tubes head or a stereo amp, for the power section, and Bradshaw 3-channel preamp. So that's his kind of the tonal section. It doesn't say cabinets or guitars what he's using, but I'm sure someone knows that. Pedals, Whammy 2, an audio switcher, Crybaby, volume pedal. Also in his rack, he's got a PV valve verb, which I think that was a combination preamp and like effects or something. And then, of course, that Bradshaw preamp, a Bad Cat trem, a Bad Cat vibe, the Alesis microverb, of course. I looked at those recently. I'm not going to go down that road, but they're $100, so it'd be kind of fun to have them. Of course, he's got the TS9 and then a TS10 as well. Wow, okay. I don't remember both of those being used. And then a Ross compressor, of course. Funny thing about the TS10, so I think that's the one John Mayer has kind of made popular over the TS9 was more the Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm sure Trey's part of that too, but the TS10 is John Mayer, and that was that 10 series of pedals, which I had quite a few, and they all got stolen, or I sold one or two that didn't get stolen. But I had the Tube Screamer and, some of the modulation stuff. I had quite a few Ibanez pedals from that time period. There was these programmable ones that were really kind of cool. I don't think they sounded great, but the TS10 series was really cool. And I'm on a couple of groups where I'm not going to buy any of them, but sometimes kind of want to try to buy a few just for fun. But they're all like $300 or $400, so a little bit ridiculous for a pedal that I think cost me $120 when they were new. I'm not even sure. It's been 3 decades since I bought any of them. So anyway, getting back to PHISH and Trey. Cool setup. There's not too many things that are that different, to be honest, except the preamp and the amp section and this big Bradshaw switching system. And it's labeled with chorus and trem and all the effects that he can bring in and out. I think that's a great idea for someone that like Trey that's using a lot of effects. in a pretty complicated way, like, or in a way like, it's like creating a painting, and those are your colors, and here's your palette essentially to kind of create whatever sonic sculpture, painting, however you want to put it. You have all those choices. So that is always cool and fun to do. And it kind of makes your pedal board, well, if it's not pedals, it's this a switchboard exactly, makes it, a half the size, depending. But a lot easier than having a lot of pedals out there. But as we know, I don't know what Trey's rig is today, but there's been times where he's had two massive pedal boards, like or one big massive one and then one to the right, I think, and the boomerang and the whammy, lots of stuff, man. And that's why I love him as a guitar player, because he's definitely using all of that stuff to kind of color his sound and add kind of, again, texture to pieces, whether it's an improv thing, an outro, or an intro. He's just kind of really using that stuff to kind of sculpt a kind of cool piece of, music, or however you want to put it. Again, I don't know. I call it music. I'm sure you do as well. But when you're doing something where you're kind of just creating an environment where, you're evoking certain things, and with like the boomerang, doing the loops and all of that stuff, and just kind of building stuff on top. And then, of course, for the songs, most of his solos are pretty much either the pedals, whether it's the Klon, depending on what time frame we're talking about, or the tube screamers, or sometimes he does use some kind of amp overdriven tones, and I'm not exactly sure when that was, but I think that's happened occasionally. But I think he's more of a pedal person. I think he's looking for clean platforms and then build the sound on top of that, which is always a great way to go. Anyway, thank you, Curtis, for the song. What a refreshing, fun thing to do. Curtis has really kind of steered me to a lot of cool pieces that I didn't do before. And obviously there's a lot of versions, there's a lot of tunes that I haven't even touched on. But he has pointed me to some that I probably would have never found on my own without, a lot of guidance or looking stuff up. And anymore, with time constraints, it's really nice to have someone say, hey, here's a great piece. It's under 15 minutes, which I really prefer. And, and then buys me a coffee. So really, really fun to do. So thank you again. Thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you soon.